Hi everyone, this is Jenny Panzer with Teamwork Realty. We are located here in Charleston, South Carolina. I just wanted to go over some of the common misconceptions of buying a home. A lot of them are just things you hear along the way, and I kind of want to debunk some of them. Some of them you kind of can't give an exact answer to because it depends on the state you live in, the market we're in. So I actually had to write some of them down. um, but let's start with upfront costs of buying a home. A lot of people believe that your down payment is the only thing that you're going to need when buying a home. Well, that is incorrect. You're going to have other costs when it comes to that. So you're going to have your closing costs. You're going to need earnest money. For those of you who don't know what earnest money is, that's money that you have to put up front. You will get it back, but it's just showing good faith that you're in it, and that is held by the closing attorney. And the closing cost is a number of things. You're going to have things from the attorneys, so like title insurance. Let me think. It's going to have your taxes in there. Sometimes it'll be prorated. It just depends on the time of year. You're going to have an appraisal fee, a credit report fee. You're going to have to pay a home inspection cost, depending on if you choose to or not, depending on whether your due diligence, what you choose, what type of home you're buying. You're going to have a title search fee. A lot of lenders charge a origination fee. Depending on how much money you choose to put down, you're going to have a more than likely a private mortgage insurance fee, but that's usually added into your payment. A lot of times with your closing costs, you have to pay your homeowner's insurance up front. With your closing costs, they require you pay that right away. So there's so many different things you have to pay along with closing, depending on the price of your home, what state you're in. Your closing costs aren't cheap, not crazy expensive, but it also depends on if you have to pay something off to qualify to buy your home. I've had clients that had to pay off vehicles so they could qualify. So yes, your down payment is not the only thing that you have to pay when you're purchasing. So, okay. Second thing, what else do we have here that is a common misconception? You have to be debt-free. That is incorrect. You do not have to be debt-free. Yes, your debt to income ratio is important. If you have a lot of debt, it is a good chance you will not qualify. When lenders run your credit, they go based on, not just your credit score, but how much money you make and what they call your debt to income ratio. So it is based on how much debt you have versus how much money you make. And that is why, if you have a lot of debt, it is a good chance you will not qualify. But if you don't have a lot of debt versus your income, you can still qualify. That's why it's not true that you can't have any debt. Everybody always has some form of debt. You're going to have your cell phone bills. Most people still have car payments. You're going to have your car insurance. So everybody has some form of debt. I mean, there are very few people who have nothing. And you can't say nothing because everybody pays car insurance. Most people have cell phone bills. So everybody has some form of debt. So you don't have to be debt-free. It's just the less debt you have, the better chance you have of qualifying in that aspect. So, next one. Here's a good one. Once the offer is accepted, the deal is done. This is not true. Yes, once the offer is accepted, great, but that doesn't mean the house is yours. No, there's still so much that happens once your offer is accepted and you are under contract. Depending on the state you are in, Some states are now due diligence, like we are here in South Carolina. I know North Carolina is due diligence, which is a whole different process. A lot can happen during that due diligence time period. If you're not due diligence, there's still a lot that goes on. You still have your home inspection, you have your appraisal, you have your CL 100 that needs to be done. In that time frame, yes, you were pre-approved, but you have to go into underwriting to get the actual approval. Some people don't understand that, and I've heard stories about people going out and buying a car thinking, oh, I'm pre-approved, I'm good to go. Well, they bought the car, they messed everything up, they ruined their debt to income ratio, and they no longer qualified, so they couldn't purchase the home. Not a good idea to go out and make big purchases when you're in the process of buying a home. I've had a situation where I had a client who was selling their home, and the people buying that home lost their job. It happens. You don't know where life is going to take you. I've heard stories of people getting in car accidents and then could no longer purchase. I've heard story of people where their spouse has passed away, or gotten major car accidents. You just don't know where life's going to take you. You don't know what's going to happen. The house could not appraise for the price that you were going to purchase it for. Well, that leads to difficulties. There could be a major foundation issue. So then that changes things. So you don't know what's going to happen in between that time frame until you get to that closing table and all that paperwork is signed and the money is sent. Anything can happen. So no, the deal is not done just because you are under contract. Anything. We've heard a lot of crazy things. Okay, next one. What else do we have? You should find a home before applying for a loan. I did a small video on this. No. Yes, you can look around, get ideas of what you like, but we always suggest getting pre-approved first. Know your budget. This will give you realistic expectations. Don't go shopping for $1 million home and you can only afford $300,000. You're going to fall in love with something you can't afford, and then that's going to shift your expectations, and then you're going to be like, well, I don't like this. I don't like this. You want to look within what you can afford. It's just going to keep your expectations real. So this is why we always say, you really should get pre-approved before you start looking. Nothing wrong with searching homes and saying, oh, I like this, I like this. But when you're serious, you really should get pre-approved first. So, all lenders are the same. They are not. Every lender, every company can do something different. They pre-qualify differently. They have, the lender I worked with actually worked at 2 different companies at one point. And for his VA loans, one company could only do 55% for his debt to income ratio, and the other company could do 65% for his debt to income ratio. So, each company is different. Some companies will do land loans, some will not. Some companies will do investment loans, some will not. Some offer different types of loans. So every lender is different. They can do different things. They can run numbers differently. It doesn't hurt to shop around for lenders and see who you like and who can give you the best rate. They can all give you different rates too. So they are not all the same. Companies are different. So definitely when it comes time to getting pre-qualified, shop around. Find who you are most comfortable with and who you feel you can get the best rate with. You need a perfect credit score to qualify. This is not true. Yes, your credit score has a big impact on getting pre-qualified, but it does not need to be perfect. The higher the score, the better the chance and the better your interest rate. This is true. And for each loan type, they have a different number that you can qualify with. But it helps to have that higher number, but it doesn't mean you can't qualify. So, I mean, it changes. It changed with COVID. I'm not going to go over right now what score you need to qualify for USDA, what you need for VA, FHA, but you don't need a perfect credit score because it's not the only thing that they use to qualify you. You do need to be above a certain number to qualify, though, but not perfect. Let's talk about PMI. If you do not know what PMI is, it is private mortgage insurance. A lot of people do not understand this is not for them. You pay this monthly. This does not protect you. This protects the mortgage company. This is something you will pay monthly. That is to protect the bank that is lending you the money, the mortgage company. That's why it is called private mortgage insurance. It does not protect you, which some people misunderstand that. It is to protect the lender only. So you are paying to protect them. You can get rid of this by putting down 20%. That's when you do not pay. That's when you do not have to pay the PMI. If you do not have 20% up front, you can refinance later on. And once you are past that 20% down point, once you have paid 20% of your mortgage, you can refinance and get rid of that. But I wouldn't suggest doing that unless you're refinancing with a lower rate as well. I wouldn't refinance if the interest rate is higher. But that is 2 ways you can eliminate that PMI. Which then brings me to the biggest misconception I hear all the time, which is your down payment. Everybody believes, or not everybody, but a lot of people believe you need to put 20% down to be able to buy a home. This is not true. You do not need to. Again, you can put down 20% to eliminate that PMI, but no, your average percentage down is 3.5% to maybe 6%. Again, it depends on your credit score and what you qualify for. Some people do have to put a little bit more down to be able to qualify. But no, you do not need no 20%. Like I said, unless there's extenuating circumstances and you would need it to qualify. But your average person, like I said, sits somewhere between that 3.5% to 6%. And it does depend on the type of loan as well. But believe it or not, there are loans out there where you don't have to put anything down. So yeah, that's the biggest one I hear when I get new home buyers who are like, well, I don't have the money, I don't have 20% to put down. And no, that's when, you reach out to us and we can guide you to some lenders and then, and they'll explain everything to you and what you would need. So, and if you have any other questions and you're not sure about all of these processes, find a real estate agent and we can help guide you. It's a hard process. There's a lot to it. And a lender, a real estate agent, we can all help guide you in the right direction. So these are a lot of the misconceptions. I hope I was able to help you at least a little bit. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions, please reach out in the comment section. Thank you so much.